Okay, so Michael will not be present in today's meeting, so he asked somebody to volunteer, and I'm volunteering. So let me get the. I'm sharing the. I'm sharing the meeting notes. Please add your names there. We can start by like if there are any new or somebody who's new to this particular group. I see many familiar faces or familiar names, but if there's anybody who's new to this particular group, it's a good time to introduce themselves.
Hi, I guess I'm new in this group. I'm Mattia. I work in reproducible builds, mostly on Debian stuff. And I'm here mostly to look around in this group, so to look if what we work on is relevant to us or it's actually interesting, so to say. For sure, I glanced at your notes, it looks interesting, so I'm looking forward to learn more for you. Thank you.
So Mattia, I shared a meeting notes link to a Google Doc that basically where we keep the meeting notes, and so please add your name and affiliation there.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So we can just go ahead and talk about the project updates. We can start with the virtual maintainer summit. Alex or Michelle, you want to do that?
Well, I can go. So we run last week the summit very successfully. We had several attendees. We recollected all the feedback from both of the rooms of in our working table roundtables. So what is coming next from it is generate the report of the event and present it to the TAC members. And the other thing that we are not only with the outcomes with the team and the main ideas that we recollected from this mini summit, we also have all the feedback from the attendees into if we should continue with this kind of event. And the outcome was extremely positive. We saw people were really committed to this kind of events. I'm very happy that we run it, and a lot of interest to make it larger in terms of the number of projects invited, larger also in terms of the attendees that can contribute to this kind of events, and with more frequency. So in the next days, the people organizing the event, which is Alex Kim, Mona War, myself, Lori, and Emily Fox, will create all this report on the event.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I was trying to find the unmute button. Yeah, it was very successful. If I may add just one more comment, about 20 people, over 20 participants from different foundations like Eclipse Foundation, OpenJS, Node.js Foundation, and the Call, and some of those GCC toolchain. It was very successful, and can't wait to share more details with the team and everybody.
Are you planning to write a blog post or anything regarding the findings or the discussion that you have had? Was it recorded?
It was not recorded. I think I think the next step is to summarize it and then in a way we can publish it either by blog or report or in some way to send a message to the community how it happened, what we discussed, and what would the next step could be, right? I think that making like Excel shared, this can happen again sometime soon, maybe in a bigger format that can benefit everybody in the open source community, to understand what OpenSSF is doing, what are the challenges, and what are the accomplishments that we can do together with other open source communities.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any updates on metrics dashboard?
Yes, I do. We had a great, actually a good, really good meeting on Friday. Rob was able to present a better look at the dashboard in general. We had great conversation around some of the features that we'd like to have added to the dashboard, a little bit more content in some areas. Also, we had a discussion about the potential to request funding for its maintenance and upkeep once we do have something that's that's ready and workable and can put into to production. So like I said, great meeting as far as that's concerned. We'll have a follow-up where we're looking at more features. We also have additional help with a lot of the work, a lot of the hands-on keyboard work to get it to where it needs to be. So far so good, and then yeah, we're actually in a really good place to get something before the working group here pretty shortly.
Okay, great. Thank you. So Luigi is not here, so I don't think anybody is doing a security insights update. Anything, is Amir here? I don't see. Oh, Amir is here. So Amir, anything about security reviews? Or is Amir here? No, he's probably not. Okay, so in that case, I mean, we have gone around the project. So at this point, we are like open questions, ideas, discussion points that you want to bring in. So I want to introduce maybe start a conversation on a specific topic since others are not volunteering. So, I mean, I can start. So Yesenia and we have been thinking of doing a survey, a large-scale survey of open source maintainers. And this is to focus on what is a good way of like interacting with them for, specifically we're focusing on the vulnerability management issue. And what is a good way of like working between the, or creating a better synergy between external researchers and project maintainers so that things get done quickly without and done in a manner that is satisfiable and it's a happy incident for both parties. So we when the mini summit happened, there was a survey that was done, and that survey is which had some questions that was talking about specific practices that the maintainers do, like do they use tools, or how often do they have a dedicated security team, and how often do they meet, and what happens if there is a security incident, and how do they react when some vulnerabilities are reported, and so on. So there were different topics that were covered. Yesenia and myself, we were planning to do a focused survey on that. And so right now it's in the planning phase. We're working with, or Yesenia is connecting with Krob to also get his feedback regarding this. But at some point, would maybe in the next meeting or so, we'll share the framing of the survey, and would appreciate opinion from other people regarding this, or if you have any thoughts on like whether this kind of survey has been done, is it a good idea, is this the right place for doing this, etc. Any opinions? I mean, we would appreciate it now or later.
A quick comment. How are you planning to execute this? I mean, get the word out and, you know, set it. I presume it's going to be on some website. So where would that be, or is that to be determined?
That's TBD, and Yesenia, being a part of the LF, is in charge of that logistics part. I'm more the working on the empirical study aspect. The execution part is something that she's looking into.
Okay. All right. If that's the case, Yesenia, maybe you might want to talk very much with LF Research, and we've got a little department that does that. So. Okay.
Yeah, I believe that she's probably aware of that, and will probably be connecting with them. But thank you.
I think so. But you know, I don't know if that. I mean, you know, much depends on details, but certainly I would encourage take a look and see if that would be a helpful direction.
Yeah. So the survey that was done during the mini summit, even though we got not a lot of responses, like 7 or 8 in total out of the 16 practitioners or 16 maintainers who were there. So yeah, roughly about 40% responded. But even there, like what was evident or a theme that was emerging was at least like those 6, I think there's only 1 or 2 that had, or out of those responses, only 1 or 2 projects had a dedicated security team, and such. So it was, and during the conversation at the mini summit, at the room where you were in, and at our room also, one of the themes that were emerging was many of these projects actually started very simple or very small, but they have now been, like, because of fame happened and adoption happened, now things have become important, and they've kind of been dragged into security. Not necessarily something that they like, but it was more of like fixing a software engineering problem as a starter, but now it has become a security nightmare, and they were not prepared for that. That was one of the themes that was emerging, and we're going to look more into like what was there. But I mean, these are interesting insight that we can ask the large open source community and get. And that can be aligned with the OpenSSF agenda and so on, and it can be part of the even the planning, etc. that you guys are doing. So it can have interesting ramifications as well, if done right. And therefore, we require opinion from everybody of how can we do this right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anybody else has any other topics that they want to touch? Yeah, I was telling Michael that because many of the regulars are not present, it might be a short meeting. I'm not very good at filling the void, so I appreciate it.
No, there's no need for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you stepping in to lead this call. So thanks for doing that.
Thank you. Okay, I guess if we don't have anything, I mean, we get yeah, about 45 minutes that we can get back in our life and do stuff. So
Thank you. Thank you very much then.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Munawar. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.